All right, are we on? Hey guys!
Looks like Mercer.
Hey everybody! Thank you so much for being ridiculous.
So amazing!
We're glad you guys all tuned in and are still tuning into our show, but let alone the support for the shirts, the support for the charity has been, I think I speak for all of us, unbelievable. And we're so blessed and excited that we have such amazing friends and viewers out there. You guys are the most amazing fan base for any show I've ever had.
Heck yeah.
So thank you. So how we all get into D&D? High school for me.
High school.
These guys.
And then for most everyone else, this.
This is my first time playing.
Either high school or my birthday 2.5 years ago. It was my birthday request to play a one-off, and it turned into this.
Yeah.
Except
So it was Liam's fault.
my first game was with you, but
Birthday
then
to me.
I've done other games since, and then came back.
I had played other games before you, but I'd never really experienced the sensation of playing D&D. Like it was just, this was like a whole, there's just levels that were reached that had never been reached before.
I've had some frustrating DMs too.
It happens. As far as writer's block,
Last you.
good music. I have a number of playlists that if I'm having a problem, I just close my eyes and listen to good music, a lot of soundtracks. I find the Elder Scrolls soundtrack is great. Someone asked, do I fudge my rolls? No, because like at that point, it becomes too weird. Like you know, if you don't stick to at least what rolls there, then you lose the essence of fate. And I think that's what makes it fun for me. It makes it scary because then I don't know what's going to happen.
Someone asked how the party met in game. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
You guys found me in a basement.
Yeah, we saved you.
Yeah, I had been arrested.
Yeah, the very first game we played, you all had come together as individual mercenaries in the city of Stilben, which is kind of a swamp town on the far eastern side of this continent. And you all, for your own reasons, had come there because you needed money. You were trying to establish some sort of way of making your skills useful, and there was a job board, and all of you came together in a tavern, saw there was a posting, and you kind of decided to go ahead and combine forces and try it out. That's how that started. And then they met Percy along the way in a prison in the Umbra Hills.
Which we've never really discussed what I was doing in down there.
Yeah,
That's a story
I
for
would like
another
to
time.
know.
There was a question for everybody.
God hunting.
You cannot pick yourself. Which is your favorite character of the group?
Oh, what's
outside
our
of
favorite?
ourselves.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I would pick Grog or Scanlan, but also rogues. The
Are
damage
really
that you can do is so crazy.
Yeah.
I pick
But
Mercy, nobody else
Percy-
can take it.
Not a character.
Your mini characters.
That's cheap.
Oh,
That's
it's
cheap.
so hard.
That's so hard. I love
Actually, I think Laura's actually my favorite character.
Really?
You have these very interesting emotional reactions to things that I find really entertaining from my side of the table.
I mean, Scanlan
I don't
is
hide it very
really
well.
hard to
It's
beat
great. It's
for
really-
laughs, but like Tiberius is so quirky.
Yeah.
I love that. I love how klutzy Keyleth is with raw power at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm very partial to my twin.
Oh.
Oh.
Trinket is pretty great.
Trinket is the bomb.
It's hard to
Trinket.
pick. It's hard to pick.
It's hard to pick.
It's
I
hard.
don't know. I have a soft spot for Grog.
Okay, lady.
I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to do the complete opposite of Tiberius, wouldn't like rage. And just
Rage,
tear shit apart with my teeth.
I like Percy too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I really
Oh.
like
Everybody's
Percy
great.
as a character.
I don't have as much fun playing if Sam's not there.
Yeah.
Because Scanlan is such a
laughing.
funny, fun character, and your ideas for things, even right from when we first started
man.
playing,
Yeah.
the things that you came up with to like
Burt Reynolds.
be Burt Reynolds, man.
He's coming
Burt
back
Reynolds.
soon. He's coming back
All these
soon.
different
Burt
things that he would do,
Reynolds,
it was just like
the
so
customs
different.
officer.
With the bag.
That's one of my favorite
Tiberius
deterrents. You avoided essentially what would have been a throwdown with the entire Thieves Guild of Iman by bluffing your way, by pulling out a
fake
silver
mustache.
star and
And a fake
Oh,
mustache.
yeah. and convincing them that you were part of the custom.
That is also
Also, a pike would be super Reynolds fun is to coming play back too, soon. because clerics can be they're crazy. Like
And you're definitely
Pike's
the heart of the
great.
group. Like we don't pretend that like
Yeah,
losing
Pike's
you
pretty
has
great.
broken us into
Oh,
tiny.
hey,
Gilmore.
man. Another like really special thing that we've done is during Christmas time.
Oh yeah.
We always
There's a
have
Christmas episode.
We
do a
have
Christmas
like
special.
we've had
Tiberius
Christmas
Rage.
specials or like a winter
We get to
Winter's
do a
Fest,
Christmas
Winter's
special
Fest,
online.
and we always give each other presents from our characters.
Yes.
And it's probably my favorite thing ever.
It is so amazing.
It's so
It is so
amazing.
amazing.
We come in Christmas
From-
pajamas.
We wear.
The first Christmas, Grog gave me 2 pine cone earrings.
Yes.
Literally pine cones.
Yeah.
It's great. Can we talk about keyless child murdering?
Yeah. How did the kid die, Marisha?
Tiberius plushes.
Yeah.
This
Tell
was
them.
sad. This was
Caleb.
really sad.
Okay, so God, I got asked this question at the panel over the weekend too. It's a hot topic. Everyone wants to know how I killed the kid.
So over the course of the first major arc of their campaign, every town they went to, there seemed to be this recurring theme of children disappearing. And so they kept trying to follow this thread and asking around, and these kids kept vanishing. And the one common thread they were discovering was shortly before each kid disappeared, they began playing with a new kid who had long black hair and golden eyes. And then they would disappear like within a week of playing with that child. And towards the end of the campaign, during a celebration, after they managed to save the city of Amon, they looked over and found that the sovereign, Uriel's, one of his children, was talking to this black-haired, golden-eyed child. So the party, in the middle of like, a platform grandstand bowing before the townspeople, they all just pulled their weapons out and jumped off after this child, who grabbed the sovereign's son and pulled him into this pocket dimension. And what it turned out to be is this entity, which is a variation of the Dread Emperor. Those who are familiar with that character. The Dread Emperor essentially had created this pocket dimension world, this giant bramble forest that surrounded a Gothic castle where it existed. This kind of weird, messed up individual that brought children there because it loved to be around their innocence and their kind of just the naivety, the sense of play.
So basically, a sorcerer Neverland Ranch.
Yeah, it was kind of messed up. But once the children got too old, they were no longer useful, so we just killed them and put them in a basement.
That's
That's just ignorant.
It was
That's
really
ignorant,
creepy.
blanket.
So the party gave chase. They fought their way to the castle, and they discovered that that what was dangerous about fighting this Dread Emperor in his library was it was wearing golden armor, and attached to this armor via 4 chains were 4 children by collars. And if anyone attacked him directly, he shared the damage he took with the children. So
Right, and we actually found these clippers for the chain.
Like big golden scissors, but we just put them in
Forgot
our
about
pocket and forgot that we had them.
we were like, sweet clippers, pocket, keep going. And then we get to this emperor with these giant gold chains, and we were like, how do you break these gold chains? If only we had like clippers. Oh well, we don't.
however, you guys started attacking the chains with your weapons, and you're doing enough damage over the first few rounds to save most of the kids.
Right.
Well,
There was one kid left.
So there's one. So there is. We were trying to just get these kids away from us because we don't want to hurt them, but we wanted them away. So I used a grasping vine, and I was trying to yank the kid away, but the grasping vine attached to the chain instead of the kid. And so when the chain, which had the collar around his neck, so when the vine yanked, kind of
broke the kids.
I thought you grabbed around the kid's waist and like he got pulled toward the thing, but the chain was still around his neck.
That's what happened. The
So it
vine wrapped
snapped
around
his
his body
neck.
and it broke his neck, and it pulled him because he was
That's
still
maybe a
attached to
little
the
worse.
armor.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
should have grabbed the chain, but
You
instead
should
I
have
grabbed
the kid.
I grabbed
Sam,
the
what's
kid.
it like being the sexiest
Yeah.
member of the
Snapped his
group?
Is that what one of the things was?
Yep.
We just want to know.
I mean, it's a lot like life. It's I've come to accept it, and you have it's the hand I was dealt.
There was also the time you
Yeah.
slapped Trinket on the ass, and I think you were sleeping on the couch that
That
night.
was
So we were going through this thing. There were traps everywhere, electrical traps everywhere, and all of us were being really cautious. And Grog hits Trinket on the butt with the blunt of his axe and sends Trinket running through the
he
thing.
needed to be motivated.
And he just hit every trap on the way through and almost died.
He was a little clumsy,
Yeah.
but he got through, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I slept on the couch for 2 nights.
But they got into conflict with the Glabrezu, and as the fight was ensuing, Pike got too close. The Glabrezu took a swipe at her and rolled a critical hit and did enough damage to bring her to death instantly. The whole
I'd
party
ar-
froze. It was
I'd already taken some hits, and then I realized, like at a certain point, Because in the Pathfinder edition, if you're like negative,
Your Constitution
Your
score.
Constitution. And then I think I wasn't quite keeping track, and I looked down, and it was way past my Constitution, and I was like, "Oh, Matt. So what does it mean if you're this?" The look that he gave me, he was like, "Oh," and he just paused because he was like, "Oh, that, you're dead." He was trying to figure out a way to say it, and I was like
awful.
instantly started crying, and I was like, no.
There's video. Of it.
Yeah,
There's
all of us are crying.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
You went
It's
under
on
the
Liam's
table.
spine.
Yeah.
Someone asked if it's weird
That was cute.
not being a fantasy character in a fantasy setting for Percy as a gunslinger. I really like it. I will actually admit that I've always been fascinated by that moment in history where suddenly we went from bows and arrows to guns. So I really like the idea of being the guy,
That guy.
who made that terrible mistake and had this really bad idea. And I'm really enjoying sort of
RPing that guy.
RPing that guy and really like trying to figure out what would drive a human being to really do something so stupid as to invent a gun.
Which I think
love
is
that
why
we have
Percy's
Percy
one of
in
my
our
favorite characters.
He's really like screwing the entire future at this point
Yeah.
by like just bringing something terrible.
Yeah.
I want to know the answer to one someone asked. How did Travis and Laura meet?
Oh, adorable.
Oh, back in Dallas, like right out of high school, we were
Yeah,
in the
we were
same
straight out of high
talent
school.
agent
And we did a job as extras together on a set.
with the silent extra talk.
Yeah.
Were you good?
Oh, did you guys do that
We
on
sat
on
for like
camera?
8 hours at the same table, and we couldn't talk to each other because we weren't allowed to make noise.
We thought we were super
Yeah, we
stoked.
thought we were so
We were
cool.
fans.
And then just
is the
like
greatest
started
job
hanging
ever.
out in the same circles, and that was that.
It's
The
totally
rest is
felt.
history.
Funny.
Yeah.
And
Donatello is my favorite.
advice for bards is sing loud and sing proud. Or, play your flute or whatever.
That's more commonly known
Someone
as
asked
rock
how
out
you
with
two
your
met
cock
now,
out.
too.
You are not asking how
I
we
think
met.
so, yeah.
Bard out with your heart out.
Bar out with your heart out, baby.
Me and Marisha met a mutual friend of ours was putting together a sketch writing group years ago, and
It
brought
was
us.
supposed to be like SNL, but geeky, nerdy stuff, where like we were gonna write and perform
Yeah.
our own sketches, and
Those never pan out.
that never happened.
Not in LA.
Yeah.
But we met there. We harbored secret crushes for about a year, and then when we reconnected, a little over a year later, we both. I was out of a relationship, and she was just getting out of one, and we both started talking again. And then eventually, we're like, "Hey, this is cool. We should do this."
You got me an audition for Resident Evil,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I owe you a drink.
Is that the
then-
Resident Evil we worked on together?
He was adorable.
It was
so
for,
adorable
for
watching him.
Damnation.
Like,
It was the
oh
CG
god.
It was the
movie, I
CG
think.
movie.
Oh, okay, I did that too.
Yeah. That's a good question, which Laura should answer.
What?
What kind of dice do y'all use, and what do you do with bad dice?
Oh, I love you.
I currently
Yeah.
want to burn my dice.
Yeah, you
because
should.
I've been rolling like a.
You had a
I
good
have told
initiative.
you the last like 5 games, get rid of your dice,
I
because
know
that's
you
what
have.
I do.
I know you
If
have.
I roll with a
Yeah, you are fickle on your
I am
dice,
fickle.
though.
If
Come
I
on.
if I
You're
roll
like
a
all
1,
of
it's
Emerald
gone
Knights
for the
already.
game. I won't roll it again. But if it rolls bad more than like 3 times, it's out. It's
Or
gone.
Done.
You have like a
Yeah.
dice
They're
graveyard.
exiled.
There's a dice graveyard, and I spent a lot of money on these really beautiful little
Don't tell people that.
amethyst
And they're just-
dice.
Garbage. Now.
I mean, you know that
Gone.
there's, you know that
You
there.
should auction them. You should auction all your
I
graveyard
should.
dice.
no,
Would you
She
guys
has-
what?
they're cursed.
That's true. But
Guys,
they're beautiful.
they're
And
worth
you could,
more
like,
money 'cause
curse
they're
them at-
cursed.
Oh, you can buy
Yeah, they're
cursed
worth
die,
more
There,
money.
which is now
guys,
mystic.
there
a myst-
is
oh my God.
there is no God, and it is the cold random chance of the universe. Come on, of the universe.
No, because some people
There's
roll
not
bad.
magic.
Some
There is
guys
only
roll
one god,
bad.
and it is the dice
Dice
god.
god.
Oh, that's
And
why.
roll
It's true.
and
That's
hate
just
when it comes to
on
dice.
principle. I
It's
can't buy
numbers.
new dice because I'm like,
is
it's not the
absolutely
dice.
It's
It
not
is
that
the
cool.
dice.
Custom
They
die.
I'd
Just
pay-
like
I did
barely.
get a
She's
custom
got
die.
she's got a
haven't
custom
bought
die.
a
It's
set.
awesome.
I'd pay for cursed dice
This weekend.
So we're good.
Oh my god.
Yes, from
That's
Leon
daunting.
Lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's like, this
On
is
a
like
related
trying to
note,
like catch
somebody wants you to
snowflakes.
say "fuck you, Dylan" for some reason.
Fuck you, Dylan.
That was amazing, actually.
That was really good.
a lot of
Great.
conviction behind
I love it.
it. Liam, scoot in. We can't see you.
Come in, buddy.
good.
Hang out.
There we
Get your
go.
bitch.
No,
Get
not-
your
not
Make
kids.
some fun here.
Is that better?
What would you guys, each of you, recommend to them to tell their friends to get them into D&D? Like, how would you recommend other people push D&D on people?
Live a video game while drinking with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or hanging with your friends. You don't have to drink.
You don't have to.
It's communal storytelling. It's I don't know. You forge memories with friends. It's a really cool kind of improvised story that you all create together, and
and playing with someone who's not a crazy talented voice actor is still better than not playing.
Yeah.
So just find a DM and start a game. Start your first game.
I tell people it's not about math. It's not about paper and pencil. It's about just when you were a kid and you went outside and played all day and you were just a kid. That's what this is. It's just remembering how to do that again with friends.
And that's what you fucking tell people.
It's pretend as adults.
It's a game. It's a game that you can play with your friends that will create the kinds of bonded, shared experiences that created the friends that you had in high school. Like the friends you just don't get anymore.
Yeah.
But you can get them by doing this.
Yeah.
This is to make that high school friend again.
Totally. If you can find a group of friends that you can openly play D&D with without them like judging you.
And even if it's not people you know very well, if you find people that like D&D, like so many people that we've seen online and some of our friends don't have D&D groups, and they find a place to go and play D&D and like meet those people, because honestly, like I didn't know you very well, I didn't know Ryan very well when we started, and now we're like all of us are like best friends, and it creates that in
people I see more often than any
I know
other
we see
group.
than
I
almost
like
anybody
the
else in our
hashtag
lives.
bondage friends.
Yeah, bondage.
That's a whole other group of friends.
I don't love that hashtag. What's your favorite part, Ashley?
It's funny because when we first started and for like the 2 years that we'd been doing it, there was an element that I liked about it, that it was kind of just ours. And then when I would try to tell people, I was like, they're not going to understand, but it's just, we get to go and we play make-believe, and nobody is judging anybody, and we can just go do it. So I was hesitant when we were starting the show, but what's been awesome is that you guys have been so accepting and just such an amazing group, and just like in the chat room, and just how you guys have just been supportive of us. Like, this has been one of my favorite things that I've been a part of in my life. That's like a really bold statement, but I just love it so much. And after 2 years, obviously there's so much more of an attachment to it. Yeah. But I just love it. I love it so much.
Everyone's so nice. I barely believe it's the internet.
I also like that
Last
somebody in
question.
the chat room said that for Critical Role fans, you could call them critters.
Critical Role fans.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, chat.
So you guys have
They've heard
officially
you that.
dubbed yourselves critters.
You're critters
And by
now.
yourselves, we mean by Liam.